mycotoxicosis. Definition: mycotoxicosis is a disease caused by a toxic fungal metabolites may affect both human and animals. Poultry mycotoxicosis are usually caused by fungi that colonize and invade grains and feeds, but other environmental aspects may be involved. Types of mycotoxicosis: aflatoxicosis, citrine mycotoxicosis, ergotism, ochratoxicosis, osprey mycotoxicosis, zearalenone mycotoxicosis. Occurrence: grain and forages used as a foodstuffs. Grains and forages used as foodstuffs support the growth of certain fungi when environmental conditions of temperature, humidity are suitable. Some of these fungi produce metabolites that are toxic to human and animal and cause the disease mycotoxicosis. We call it mycotoxicosis by either ingestion or cutaneous exposure. Mycotoxicosis: hundreds of different mycotoxins have been identified. Mycotoxicosis diagnosis: definitive diagnosis of the mycotoxicosis should involve the isolation and identification and quantitation of the specific toxins. Treatment: here we mention the methods of treatment. Remove the toxic feed and replace it with unadulterated feed. Treat concurrent disease, parasitic or bacterial, identified in diagnostic evaluation. Substandard management practice should be immediately corrected as they have increased. Determine the effect in the flock stressed by mycotoxin. Substandard management practices should be immediately corrected as they have increased. Determine the effect in flock stressed by mycotoxins. Vitamin, trace minerals, especially selenium, vitamin E, and protein requirements are increased by some mycotoxins and can be compensated for by feed formulation and water-based treatment. Increase the vitamins, trace minerals, the protein to support the animal to face this mycotoxin. Here, summary of most common mycotoxins in poultry, the name and the major product and the action. We will mention it in all detail only for summary. Here, aflatoxin, fusarium, osprey, crocosine, ochratoxin, citrine, ergotism, zearalenone, the action and the products. We will mention it in full detail. Here we find some of these fungi which produce these metabolites which called mycotoxin in Aspergillus flatus, observed with binuclear microscope. Here the candida heads of the Aspergillus flatus, the hyphae and the head. A species producing aflatoxin B1 and cyclobenzonic acid. Here Aspergillus ochraceus, ochratoxin A producing species, observed under binuclear microscope. Here microscopic observation of Aspergillus ochraceus and ochratoxin A producing species, the fungus ochratoxin, Aspergillus ochraceus. Here also we find Aspergillus fumigatus, Macroconidia of Fusarium gallinarum, Macroconidium of Aspergillus gallinarum. Here the poultry tolerate high doses of the mycotoxin. The fungi, the main source, favorable condition and geographical distribution. Aflatoxin produced by Aspergillus flavus, Aspergillus parasiticus, ochratoxin by Penicillium verticatum, and Aspergillus ochraceus, trichosine, T2-toxin, trichosinium. Here, Fusarium, desoxynivalenol, desoxyprenol, fumonisin, F-fertucoloid, and there are known Fusarium species. The main source, aflatoxin peanut and corn, ochratoxin barley and corn and wheat. Here the trichosine on cereals, fumonisin on corn, the favorable temperature, the favorable condition, damp heat in tropical area, aflatoxin, poor storage condition, cool climate, dampness during the storage, cold temperature, climate, mycotoxin. Here the maximum concentration, aflatoxin B1, raw material, complete feed for poultry, complementary feed for poultry. The maximum concentration 0.202 milligram per kilogram, aflatoxin B1, ochratoxin E 0.1, fumonisin B1 and B2 20, desoxynivalenol 12 milligram per kilogram, the maximum, the permissible limit. Corn byproduct 8, zearalenone 2 milligram per kilogram, and here 3 milligram per kilogram. Mycotoxin, the species mostly affected by every mycotoxin, aflatoxin B1, duckling, affected severely, young guinea fowl, chicken, and the body weight, milligram per kilogram. Here, ochratoxin A, the most affected chicken, T2-toxic chicken, the diacetoxyprenol chicken, also citrinine, the turkey and the duckling and chicken. This is the lethal dose 50 of several mycotoxin after a single administration by oral route, and depending on the poultry species. Here the dose, the effective, the lethal dose 50, the lethal dose 50, the dose of the mycotoxin can kill 0.5% of the experimental birds. We take 100 birds and feed them this amount of the mycotoxin and wait for 3 days and see the mortality in this. This is 100. We find 50% of them are dying by this dose. It's called the lethal dose 50, and this is the dose, lethal dose 50 for every species, for every mycotoxin, combined with every species. Aflatoxin B1, duckling, 0.35 to 0.53 milligram per kilogram, body weight of the birds. Also ochratoxin A, chicken, 3.4 milligram every kilogram body weight. We calculate the lethal dose with the body weight of the bird. We make the experiment for it. Aflatoxicosis, we speak full detail on the most important mycotoxin, has a very important and economic important and affect the poultry health and make losses in the poultry industry. Aflatoxicosis is the most important and have public health importance. Historically, during the 50s, a disease in the dog called hepatitis X occurred in the United States, consumption combined with consumption of moldy dog food in the dogs. It was later reasoned to have caused by some mycotoxin responsible for high mortality in Turkey due to hepatic toxicity. In the Turkey, hepatic toxicity occurred in 60s in England. What was the cause? Peanut meal imported to England from Brazil was highly contaminated with fungi Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus, which produce aflatoxin and cause this mortality in Turkey. Later, it was discovered that aflatoxin is the cause, and it's studied, and further studying revealed that the cause was aflatoxin. Mycotoxin of the aflatoxin group B1, B2, G1, G2 are the cause of aflatoxicosis. Aflatoxin B is the most common in grain and is highly toxic. B1 is the most important and the most toxic. Aflatoxin form in peanut, corn, cottonseed and their product. In other grain and in poultry litter, Aspergillus flavus is the primary producer of aflatoxin in grain, but not all strains of fungus are toxogenic. Like other mycotoxin, aflatoxin is produced only when substrate, the corn, the barley, temperature and humidity are ideal. Favorable condition for toxin formation may be localized within a volume of stored and transported grain, creating toxic hotspots. Once formed, the toxin is stable. Aflatoxin B1 is potent, naturally occurring carcinogen, and thus has special public health consideration. It's carcinogen if it's in the wheat. We won't make bread from a wheat with aflatoxin B1. There is reports and some papers speak about the cancer in the liver caused by the B1 aflatoxin in human. Aflatoxin is in poultry is primarily a disease of the liver. It's very important. Affected birds have reduction in growth, carcass pigmentation, egg production, immune function, and have increased nutrient requirement for protein, trace element, and vitamin. The disease may be fatal. Lesions, jaundice, generalized edema, hemorrhage. The liver is discolorized by yellow, and the swelling of the kidney are seen with more severe intoxication. Microscopic change in the liver occur as necrosis of hepatocytes, lipid accumulations in hepatocytes, bile duct proliferation, and fibrosis. These are common reactions of the organ to toxic insults, and although they may be suggestive of aflatoxicosis, are not pathognomonic. Here we find the liver, bile, and the kidney. Compare between this normal and the normal, and here the abnormal liver and the normal liver to make comparison. Here we find the birds affected with aflatoxin, they are paralyzed. Here the liver is swollen, the appearance inflamed or bigger than its normal size. Here its color also changing. Lethal aflatoxin cause liver discoloration from dark red to congested and necrosis to yellow due to fat accumulation in the hepatocyte, multiple hemorrhage, and characteristic reticular appearance of the capsular surface are also observed. Here the kidney affected, severely affected with the aflatoxin, swollen, changed in color, severe toxification. The kidney are enlarged and filled with ureate. Here the ureter filled with ureate. Mycotoxicosis, the second most important mycotoxin in poultry. Etiology: mycotoxin A, B, and C are usually produced by toxogenic strain of Penicillium periodicatum, but may be produced by other species of Penicillium and by Aspergillus ocraceus. Mycotoxin A is the most toxic and is greatest threat to poultry production. Clinical signs: reduction in feed intake and increase in mortality. Weight loss. Drop in egg production has been reported from mycotoxin A. Lesion, gross and microscopic lesion in the kidney and the liver. Here the kidney enlarged. Mycotoxin A produce acute proximal tubular epithelial stenosis in the kidney and inhibit normal renal uric secretion. Here the histology, dissection, histopathology of the kidney, and here the tubular epithelium necrosis. Here the tubular epithelium necrosis, pathology. Trichosine mycotoxicosis, Fusariotoxicosis, a disease called alimentary toxic allogia, occurred in Russian people in the early 20th century, in 1930, and especially during the Second World War. Labor shortage during the war necessitated the overwintering of the grain, wheat, rye, and millet in the field, and harvesting was delayed until spring. Bread made from the new grain caused acute gastroenteritis, followed by the formation of ulcer of the face, oral membrane facial edema, lymph node enlargement, and in the later stage bone marrow disorder, anemia, uncontrolled hemorrhage. Morbidity and mortality greater than 50% occur in some villages. Similar problem occur in livestock. The disease is now recognized as mycotoxicosis caused by colonization of the grain by toxogenic species of Fusarium. The fungi produce mycotoxin of the trichosine group, which caused injury. Here the trichosine. Here the mouse lesion. Here the feather of the bad feathering of the poultry. Zearalenone mycotoxicosis has been recognized since 1927 as a cause of symptoms resembling estrogen stimulation in pigs, cattle in the United States and elsewhere. Zearalenone is a mycotoxin produced by Fusarium rosseum and other Fusarium species. Lesion affected chicken have ascites and cysts both inside and outside the oviduct. The oviduct were swollen and inflamed. Here the trichosine mycotoxin lesion in the mouth and beak of the chicken, and here trichosine mycotoxin T2 abnormal feathering are narrow because of a radiometric injury to the developed barbs. Here also some other trichosine lesions in crop and also in proventriculus and intestine. And it is the microscopic observation of Aspergillus ocraceus, mycotoxin A producer. Prevention of mycotoxicosis requires the detection and the control of mycotoxin contamination in feed ingredient and the application of feed manufacturing and management practices that prevent mold growth and mycotoxin formation. We speak in the last of the lecture the preventive measure to have our flock healthy without mycotoxin. The prevention of mycotoxicosis requires detection and control of mycotoxin contamination in feed ingredient. We make test feed analysis every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, as you like. Ingredient and the application of feed manufacturing and management practice that prevent mold growth and mycotoxin formation. Feed and grains can now be screened for several mycotoxin, aflatoxin, tetrodotoxin, ochratoxin, zearalenone using monoclonal antibody detection kits, ELISA. Many poultry companies already routinely test screen for aflatoxin contamination by chromatographic procedure, mini column technique. Mycotoxin can form in decayed, crusted, built up feeder inside the house, feed mill inside the mill, and storage bins. This can be prevented by inspection of the bin between blocks to certify absence of feed residues, and by cleaning bins and feeders when necessary. Use for tandem feed bins on farm allow cleaning between successive feed deliveries. Some feed additives succeed in preventing the effect or some of the effect of the mycotoxin. Zoliate, a class of silicate containing compound used as anti-caking agent in feed formulation and aid in the improvement of eggshell quality, show promise as a practice and economical method for reducing the effect of certain mycotoxin. Hydrated sodium calcium aluminum silicate has been shown to bind aflatoxin B1, possibly by sequestrating in the digestive tract and reducing its toxicity in chicken. Thank you.